Welcome to the All Ground Pod. Welcome to the All Ground Pod.
Welcome to the All Ground Pod
Welcome back, everyone.
with your host, Temptai.
And a special guest this week, Elias Anderson.
It's good to be here, guys. So what's on the docket?
Okay, so I am beyond excited to hear all the deets of the IBJJF Masters World Championships that you went down to Vegas to watch and support Chunks. And I want to hear all those deets for sure.
All right. Well, yeah, let's talk about that.
Okay.
So the IBJJF is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, jiu-jitsu organizations on the planet. And to win the IBJJF World Championship is, one of the greatest achievements that you could have in jiu-jitsu
Nice.
as a jiu-jitsu competitor. And so IBJJF has the IBJJF World Championships, but they also have the Masters World Championships. And Masters are ages 30 and above. And there's 7 different Masters divisions. And this last weekend, we brought out one of our athletes, students, competitors, and his name is Charles Padilla. We call him Chunks. I know that you know that. I'm just letting the viewers know.
Full disclosure today.
Yeah.
Full disclosure.
And Chunks is in the Masters 7 division. So he's really fucking old. But you wouldn't think that.
No, he does not. He let's just say he's aged well.
He's aged really well.
Yeah.
Like a nice fine wine.
We'll call him the Silver Fox.
Yeah, he really is a silver fox. Let's go back to the beginning.
Okay.
So we open up All Ground a little over a year ago. Chunks becomes one of the founding members. I think he just kind of heard about us through the grapevine. And, this guy comes in. I can already tell he's awesome. A get after it, hard individual, full military career. And now he's a mountaineer and instructor. Just a badass individual with a killer mentality. And I saw that from the get-go. And he was on the mats a lot with his good buddy Joe. Kind of both came on board at the same time. And it's really, really good to have both of them because they push each other and they bring a really cool vibe to All Ground.
Yeah, they're like catalysts for each other. The sum is greater than the individual parts, for sure.
For sure. And just training began. And I think instantly it was a little different for both of them, with Laird and I being more competition based and obviously rooted in a lot of fundamental jiu-jitsu, old school combined with new modern techniques. But I think they were happy to be here. And then we just became close friends really quickly, training with each other a lot. And I saw how incredible Chunks was at pushing himself despite his age. I mean, it doesn't even matter because he just looks so good and he, performs like a young athlete and shows up like a young, hungry athlete. And
it's actually kind of crazy how high of a volume he can train at and stay healthy. But I think that the culture here and the people here have really inspired him to put more effort into self-care than he ever had before. So I think it's a two-way street. I think that he makes All Ground great, but All Ground makes him great. So it's a really, really nice synergistic vibe, really.
Yeah, that's cool. And as we say, one team, one dream.
That's right.
And we are one team. We are, one family here with the same dream in mind. And that's just to be the best that we can possibly be. And so over the last year, I've got to know Chunks really well on the mats here and just an absolute beast of a competitor, human being. And it was really cool. So kind of following his journey, he did a lot of opens IBJJF has a lot of opens throughout the year leading up to the World Championship. And so we started dialing in more and more and more and really adding to his tool belt.
Now, do you have to qualify for the World Championships?
In the adult division, which is...
Well, in Masters, I mean, so for Chunks to go compete and, you know, put his hat in the ring for the World Championships, Masters 7, did he have to place high enough in an open or so many tournaments or anything?
So that's all seeding related.
Okay.
So for the Masters, I believe anyone can enter it, but it's based off your seed is how well you've done throughout the season. I think Chunks was seeded second. And yeah, so all of the top guys are going to be, you know, the top seeds. And it was a pretty good bracket. I was definitely excited for this and to see what Chunks could do, because he had a really good season before the World Championship. He was doing really well. You know, mostly winning and dominating. We just kept refining the techniques. We kept working with each other, and his game shifted a lot since he first started coming here.
What are the main ways it shifted?
Well, adding wrestling into his game, adding a stand-up game, adding a really strong positional top game with a lot of forward pressure, pins, and, you know, passing, heavy knee slice passing, tripod passing. Some of these things people aren't going to understand, but really refining his technique on top and making sure that he just feels like a constant pressure forward until he's inevitably able to pass people's guard, pin them, and just destroy him from there. So, but yeah, added a lot of wrestling, added a lot of fundamental techniques to his base, because he needed to work on his footwork, his stance, his base, his position. And he did that really well. He did it so well because he just showed up a lot. Well,
and he listens.
He listens and he adapts really well. And I was really, you know, taken back with how much he just chooses to be on the mats and just keep trying to hammer in these techniques. I don't feel like Chunks is one of those individuals where he just sees something and then it sticks. You know, like Laird is like that. Laird sees something and then he can just replicate it.
Laird's almost a savant when it comes to that stuff. I've noticed he can like literally watch something on YouTube and then do it.
Yes.
Not many people can do that. That's the exception. Chunks is more of a normal person. He's the working man.
He is the working man. And so he'll just hammer it in, drill it in. So yeah, it was cool to see him really evolve in his technique, and really inspiring, because there's this guy in his 60s that's just coming here and truly wanting to get better at jiu-jitsu. Not just, you know, wanting it to be a part of his life, which would be awesome anyways, but truly trying to get better and better and better at jiu-jitsu. And that's awesome.
And he's been a bit of a mentor for me. Like when I very first started, came in and you know, I'd roll with him, and he just immediately took on the mentorship hat, and instead of just beating me up, which he could easily do, he had a lot of advice, and instead of just, you know, working on his own game, he really likes to help everybody around him get better. It's awesome.
I agree.
I love rolling with him. He's been very foundational for me, and like you said, the top pressure game, he told me right away, he's like, you're a big heavy guy. Not that heavy, I mean, but, you know, a little heavier than average, and 6 feet tall, and so you should be playing the top pressure game. And so he really worked with me, and so that's been great. I mean, it's been a super, super effective way to try to control that top position, tripod passing, like you said, just heavy like pressure, breaking guard, and you know, stacking people. I mean, just all that stuff. Like, he guided me to do that. Now, you guys obviously are my coaches, but he has like reinforced it, and especially because he really preaches what you preach. Yeah, he's just passing on the good word. He's like an apostle.
Yeah. It's true. I mean, you have those students around you as the coach, assuming you're putting your best foot forward and you're really wanting to see your athletes evolve. Your students carry that for you as well. I mean, I can't come around and coach every single person individually all the time, but assuming that I have students like Chunks, I mean, they're gonna pass on that knowledge that I want to pass on, and then in a way, we're all teaching each other. All the students are teaching, you know, the people underneath them,
Any good
And,
martial arts academy,
it's
I
just-
think, should be like
it's
that.
it's an amazing compounding effect.
Yeah.
So we go back to preparation. Chunks is preparing for the Worlds. He's doing these. He's on the regional scene, doing opens, trying to get as much experience as he can, and refining, dial in these new techniques and sort of a new game for him. And we start to realize, getting closer and closer towards the World Championship, that we don't think that people are going to be able to handle his work ethic, his pressure, his strength, his hand fighting at this point. I mean, he's really exhausting. He's really taken to the wrestling and the hand fighting and the exhausting pressure that he can initiate on people.
Yeah, I mean, if we learn nothing else from watching Hamzat,
Yeah.
that pressure, that hand fighting, that wrestling side of things can just defeat people emotionally and physically.
Yeah. Yeah. And, we're thinking about, as the coaches too, Laird and I, what is best going to serve Chunks in his path to gold, in his path to becoming a world champion? Because we can't just be like, okay, we're going to start going over inversions and barambolas and all these crazy things. So we have to think about what's going to serve him best, what's going to allow him to capitalize on his strengths, conserve his energy, and ultimately exhaust these people and be able to capitalize on their weaknesses and capitalize on their fatigue.
Right.
And so I just feel like we put together a really amazing game plan, and Chunks and Joe together were really good at drilling that.
Yeah.
And just,
they come in here and just
they would come in here and they would just kind of follow the game plan. And that was amazing. It's so the best thing about growing up, alongside Laird, just as brothers, is whenever we were taught something, we could just go drill it as much as we possibly could.
Right.
And that's what I love, watching Chunks and Joe.
They're like bros.
They're just absorbing it, and then like, all right, bro, let's go.
Yeah.
Fucking drill this like crazy. So yeah, we get closer and closer, and we're down to 2 weeks. 2 weeks until he competes. He's looking really good. Everything's coming together. He's feeling super strong, and just being smart about it.
Mm-hmm.
Last competition class pushed him pretty good, and Chunks is the type of person that just wants to work hard all the way up until he actually has to compete.
Yeah.
So I think it was up to him to pull back when he needed. I wasn't going to tell him too much, because he's obviously been having success doing what he's doing, but just guiding him in the ways that, we could as coaches, me and Laird. And Tina, of course. Tina was a valuable coach as well. I mean, fuck, I've learned so much wrestling and hand fighting and things from Tina.
Yeah.
So,
the wrestling side of it, she's so solid.
Yeah. So I think, the three of us just kind of guiding him as much as we could. And then, we're down to the last week. Things are looking good. He's healthy. He's coming in here as much as he can. And then heads out to Vegas. Gets there a couple days early to acclimate.
That's wise, because it is freaking hot
It
there.
is hot, man. Oh my God. I know. I've been going to Vegas ever since I was a little kid, because I was competing there. Me and Laird would go compete. Our dad would bring us out, but it's always just felt like this place I really know. It feels like I don't know it, because I'm always there for a goal, a mission. And so I don't know Vegas, and what I do know about it, I'm always just like, I just want to go home.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a Vegas hater, so
I am too. I grew up there, so I feel like I have the right to hate it more so than most. But I feel like a lot of really cool things happen in Vegas, but it's not a place I want to spend time outside of those events.
Yeah,
and I have family there, so I like to go down and visit my family.
Yeah, Vegas is important for its purpose.
Yeah,
and I respect that. But and I like going out there and sticking to a mission. That always feels good.
Mm.
So we get out there. Chunks is there a couple days early. Joe's out there with him, and we bring out a couple people from the crew. Coaches are out there. We got a good kind of support crew there. Chunks' wife is there. I mean, it's awesome. She goes with him to all the events that she can.
Yeah,
and
she's great.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
So everything's looking great, and this guy seems switched on.
Yeah.
Like Chunks seems switched on. Like
In the zone.
he seems in the zone. Like maybe a little bit of nervous energy, but in a way where he's just like, he's put all this work in.
Harness it.
Yeah, he's ready to just go. And here we go. First match. It's time. It's time to shine. It's time to prove or show, rather, all that work that you put in.
Mm-hmm.
And he did, because the first match was easy. He just pressured the guy. I'm pretty sure the guy ended up pulling guard or something. Chunks passed the guard, got to mount, just pressured this guy. And then I believe eventually wrist locked him. It was kind of hard to see from my angle, but he started off going, he was kind of gift wrapping the guy, torquing his arm a little bit, but I think he ended up getting the wrist lock from mount. It was easy.
How long? First couple minutes?
I want to say it was 3-4 minutes,
Okay.
3 or 4 minutes or something, maybe even less. So I was like, cool, great. Yeah, we're on to the next round. And he looked awesome. He looked like he was ready to go immediately afterwards. And sometimes there's a little bit of an adrenaline dump after your first round, but I felt like he was just
he's pretty battle hardened at this point.
Yeah, I felt like he was just ready.
Done it enough that it's Worlds, but he competes often.
Yeah,
that's important.
Yeah. So just quick little reassess, talk about the game plan again. And then we go out into round two. Round two is someone that he's faced before. He was feeling pretty confident about it. We watched the guys match before he faced Chunks. Laird and I were feeling confident about it. Tina as well. And he went out there and same thing. Just was too much. Was too much to handle. Got his hands on him. Started making him nervous. Got him down. Started passing. Got to mount. Pressured him for a little while. And not a point scored on him, or not a point scored against Chunks. Just dominated the match.
Wow.
And then we're on to the finals match. And I was a little nervous, It's the finals.
Yeah.
And the guy that he was going against in the finals was definitely doing well. Seemed strong, positionally really strong.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay. A little bit taller than Chunks too. Definitely seemed just like another hardened, tough individual where you can't write him off.
Yeah. I looked in the picture I saw on Instagram of Chunks on the podium, the guy on the second place. I mean, I don't celebrate people's losses. Like I feel bad for the guy. Like I think he probably went in there with high hopes and high expectations, but he looked pretty demoralized in that picture. I don't know. He didn't look like he was very happy about being number two, to be quite honest. Like,
I hope
think
so.
He thought he was going to win.
Yeah. I hope he wasn't happy.
Yeah.
When you want it bad, number two is not.
And that's not to
good
say that, I hope he was sad, but it was more like, I hope he had that mind of a true competitor.
Exactly.
When number one is what I want.
Yeah, I think he did. And he fought hard from the beginning, and I felt like we could all feel that this guy was the one that Chunks was going to face.
Right.
He just seemed to be also kind of dominant over the other competitors.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was nice. That was fun because you want the toughest guy at the end. You don't want like a fluke, submission or something, and then
you face some guy that's really not very good.
Yeah, caught the top guy off guard. But it was nice to know that this guy was in the finals because it just added to the pressure, and that was cool. So match starts. And I think the guy pulled right away and kind of off balance Chunks right away. It was kind of sketchy, but again, we just focused so much on having such a strong base, such a strong, solid base, not being able to get off balanced and turned or dropped down to a hip. So the composure is what I noticed the most in this match. In the previous two matches, it was just like, it was him proving that he was more dominant.
Mm-hmm.
In this final match, it was proving that he had the composure to not make a mistake in the match that mattered most. And that was what was so impressive. Because he didn't get a point scored against him again.
But this is where it was closest.
And I believe it was Chunks only had an advantage at the end. I'll have to double check. So it was really close because you could tell that this guy had the ability to sweep Chunks if Chunks made a mistake.
Right.
And he was good, and he got close a couple times, and Chunks had to settle. And so it was a real chess match.
Huh.
And that was exciting for me. Maybe boring for some, but for me,
Yeah.
I was like locked in and just making sure to remind Chunks to just settle back on his base and not make that mistake. So the composure was the most impressive thing. And to have composure when the pressure's on, gold is on the line, and you've put all this work in to actualize your dream is, what can make or break you in those moments. And Chunks, man, he made it happen.
Yeah.
He stuck to the game plan. He settled down, gave nothing, and time ran out. And Chunks was a world champion.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. And that was really, really cool to see. And at that division too, Masters 7, like
Yeah.
these guys are just war horses.
Yeah.
And it was all the thing that was amazing to me is Chunks prepared like he was a young, hungry up and comer
Uh-huh.
that had something to prove. Even though he's kind of been proving it on the regional scene and at the Opens, just showed up like, someone that's my age or younger and really has to prove what they're all about.
Right.
And that was the coolest thing. So super proud and looking forward to earning more world titles with Chunks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that it's inspiring for the academy because you look at this guy who's in his 60s that trained so hard and just became a world champion. And sometimes when you're looking at younger people do it, you're like, oh, well, they're young. I don't have the youth on my side. I don't have time or whatever it is. And they just make a lot of excuses.
Well, and he has a full life. It's not like all he
Yeah.
does is do jujitsu.
Yeah.
I mean, he has a job.
He's
and
got
he
a job.
works and he travels back and
Yeah.
forth.
Yeah.
It's just that he makes this a priority,
Mhm.
a very, very high priority.
And if he can't be at class, he'd be texting me like, gotta run in. Or, I know that he's working. I know
Yeah.
that he's doing what he can. And that's really cool. So I think as an academy, just seeing that result from him, people are already inspired.
Mhm.
But I'm inspired. I'm inspired as well. And just being around the guy it is awesome. Makes me hungry as a competitor. And I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to getting back on the competition circuit. And I know, we're preparing for a tournament here in Reno as a team. And this is going to be our biggest lineup yet. And I think that Chunks just added fuel to the fire.
Yeah.
I think he just lit a fire under people's ass because no excuses. Like if Chunks can show up and do it and get that result, I really believe anyone in this academy can do that.
Yeah.
Anyone in this academy, if they wanted to. I mean, we've already proved that. People go out to their first tournament and they take gold. Maybe
Yeah.
they weren't expecting that. But because we're all pushing each other and supporting each other in a way where it's like, that's just inevitable.
Mhm.
And I was thinking about that with Chunks. I was like, he won this before it happened. Like the win was in the work that happened.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. It's, I've always felt like competition, taking tests in school, any test, whether it be a competitive test or an academic test, it should be your reward for the work you put in.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
It's like a victory lap. You didn't win it there. You won it in all the hours you put in leading up to it.
Totally.
To be honest, to build the composure, to build the endurance, to build the technique, all of that.
Yeah.
So important.
It is. It is so important. And I'm grateful that people enjoy it here at ALLGROUND. I'm grateful that people really enjoy some of the grueling training sessions and the preparation and having a little pressure on themselves. And And that's great. Pressure is a privilege, as they say.
Yeah. Adversity is a privilege.
Adversity is a privilege, and pressure is a privilege. And if you got pressure on you, it's because you're doing something important.
Yeah,
it's because
it's true.
You're about to do something that has some meaning. Yeah, and I'm really inspired by him as a coach and as a competitor, and I can't wait to see all these other athletes that we have coming up compete and win, and face adversity. Not win and see what happens then.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I mean, as long as you're showing up for yourself, for your team, for your family, that's what matters.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely value in just doing hard things.
Yeah.
And things that challenge you and push you to the limits. That's how you create growth. I mean, you look at exercise, you damage your muscles, they grow back stronger. That is both, physical and also internal, psychological.
Yeah.
If you want to be a stronger person mentally, you have to challenge yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
So you had some stuff written down that I think this segues perfectly into, to be honest.
Yeah. I was thinking, because I thought about this for myself as well, and maybe I've talked about this on the podcast. But I wrote down, most people look for a way out.
And we know there's no easy way out.
There's no shortcut home. And this is more in regards to when you have a goal in mind, not just as a general statement in life, although I do feel like most people look for a way out. But I think when you have a goal, I think you kind of look for the exit door, or maybe I've come far enough. This is good enough. And I think I've talked about this on the podcast, but I'll say it one more time. When I was competing for the combat jiu-jitsu world title.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, in 2021, I had done combat. I was at the inaugural combat jiu-jitsu event, so I had been doing it for a while leading up to this, and I had grown a lot as a competitor and as a martial artist, under that banner and doing combat jiu-jitsu. I got the opportunity to do an EBI, and then they did a one-off event, jiu-jitsu overtime, but all of these events under Eddie Bravo, and always came up a little short. But I knew in my heart, if I had the opportunity to fight for the world title at my weight class, that I could really, I believed I could accomplish that.
Yeah.
And so when the opportunity came to finally compete for the 135-pound combat jiu-jitsu world title, I was just all over it. And trained like a madman. And we got there. I had to win 4 matches. And I remember going into the semifinals. Just won 2 matches, felt really good about it. I was in the semifinals against a really tough competitor. Someone that was sort of favored to win the event as well. I don't think I was favored, but I think it was the champion at the time, and then this person that was favored. And so I had a match against him. And at that moment was my way of looking for a way out.
Your brain looking for an exit strategy.
Yes, because I told myself at this point I'm good enough. I've done enough for my family, my friends, everybody that's watching, because it was live on UFC Fight Pass. Everyone's watching to be proud of me. And I remember having that thought for just a split second, and then the switch came. No. Yeah. What are you fucking talking about? Shut up. Just shut up, because that doesn't matter. All that matters is that you compete in each match as if it's your last. And I was I just got that out of my head right away. Just looking for a way out, looking for a reason to just be good enough. And I reminded myself, I'm here to win this thing. I am here because I believed that I could become a combat jiu-jitsu world champion. And then it just switched. It was a switch like that, and that's all I needed. I just needed to remind myself, you don't need a way out. It's silly.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. And that was great. I went in and I felt almost better than I had ever felt in terms of my gas tank. I felt like I was smooth. It was still a long fought match, and we went into double or triple overtime or whatever. I ended up getting the win, but I just remember feeling good the whole time. Even during the overtime, my body felt strong. My mind felt strong. And I think that's just because I wasn't looking for the way out. I just believed that I could win. And that was also from the help of Laird, because he would look at me and be like, you are winning this now. Like, you're here. You're in the semifinals. You are going to win this match, and then you're going to win the tournament.
Yeah.
And I think just hearing that, I'm like, yes, I am.
It's so nice to have people that believe in you.
Yeah.
It is so nice to have that backing. And I think, ultimately that's why All Ground is such a cool place, because I've heard of other academies that, there's like infighting and people are jealous of each other and that sort of thing. That doesn't seem to really be a thing here. Everybody's got everybody's back. Everybody wants everybody to succeed. And having that backing, knowing the people in your corner truly want you to win and believe that you can, is so powerful.
I agree. Yeah, it's very powerful. I think that, fear and support are such big motivators for me and maybe for a lot of other people. But I think it's important to have a healthy respect for, the fear of losing, the fear of not accomplishing what you want to accomplish. I think that that's important to respect that fear.
Yeah.
But it's also so motivating when people truly believe in you. Like when they truly believe in you, not to the point where they're just saying it to your,
No, when you can feel that they believe it.
Yes.
That they I think it's important with your loved ones to express that I think that I believe that you can succeed. It doesn't guarantee your success. And I believe you can fail too, but I believe that if you give it your all, you have a very, very good chance of winning. You have it in you to be the winner, to be the champion.
Yeah.
And you can feel it when people aren't sincere. You can feel it.
You can.
They're like, oh yeah, you could probably win.
Yeah, they're almost like making excuses for you. And I feel like that's actually because they're often making excuses for themselves.
Right.
Like if you believe you can do something great, it's easier for you to believe that other people can do it as well, because you're an optimist in a lot of ways. So if I believe I can be the best in the world, I often think that maybe too much sometimes. As a coach, Laird and I have talked about this before, but we believe in our students so much to the point where, sometimes we have to have some humbling experiences. We've gone to tournaments where we thought our students were going to dominate every match. And then they don't dominate every match. And then you kind of get reminded, you're like, okay, you can believe, but ultimately you still have to put in the work. Like you still have to work so hard. And that's what I want as the coach. I want our belief at the end of it to be from all of the work that we put in. But still, of course, before then, we're only doing the work because I believe that they can accomplish this, exactly. So it's like, it's a cycle.
It's a resonant feedback cycle.
Yeah.
Putting in the work makes you believe, making you believe makes you put in the work, and it builds up to a crescendo. And at the competition, you have the absolute best chance of success. And I mean, is it possible that, Chunks goes into that match, say 1,000 times and he wins 900 times, like Doctor Strange, like how many, like going through all the different alternative universes and stuff. Yeah, that's possible. But you're trying to stack the odds in your favor. You're trying to put the work in so that you have the absolute best chance of success.
Yeah.
And go into it knowing that you have a better chance of winning than your opponent does.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
So people look for a way out. I think that a lot of people look for the way out because they feel like if they put in all this work and then they fail, then what does that say about them?
Yeah.
That they can't win. And that's not true.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that this kind of ties into what I wrote next. And these are all feelings that I've felt. I'm not just generalizing or wanting to light a fire under people's ass. Like I'm trying to light my own fire.
Yeah.
And so I write about these things. So yeah, it kind of leads into what I want to talk about next. And, most people looking for a way out is because, as we talked about, like you get to a point where good enough is okay. Like I'm happy with good enough. And I've felt that a lot. So I wrote down good enough is safer than great, because greatness requires a level of risk most people are afraid to take. And I think, yeah, it's because we don't want to let people down. For some reason, this idea that if we say we're going to do something and then we don't do it, or there's this idea that if we say we're going to do something and then we don't accomplish it, that people are not going to love us and appreciate us as much. At least I felt that.
Yeah.
I felt like if I say I'm going to, win this tournament, or if I say I'm going to accomplish this by this time and I don't do it, then my loved ones are going to think of me less. My team is going to think of me less. But anyone that actually is thinking of you less is not meant to be around you.
These are not people that are really backing you, you know?
And 99% of the people are just going to be inspired that you're actually working for something, that you are working hard to achieve a level of greatness.
Mm-hmm.
And anyone can do something great. It just requires a level of work and telling yourself, like, I don't want to be just good enough. And that's why when new people come in here and they're white belts and they're excited about competing, and then all of a sudden they're in the comp class and we're holding them to a high standard, that's because even you winning a tournament as a white belt is great. Like, that's a level of greatness. You taking gold, that shows that you can accomplish great things.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you don't have to be a black belt or a world champion to be great.
Nope.
And you just have to put yourself out there and put the work in, and yeah, just not give in to that voice that says, like, I'm just here to be good enough.
Yeah, and honestly though, as an aside, you don't have to be great at everything. And in fact, trying to be great at everything is kind of foolish.
Yeah.
You're never going to be great at everything. I think that what you're talking about when you say, good enough versus great is when you talk about the things that you're passionate about, the things that are true pursuits in your life. Like, for instance, cooking. I like cooking.
Yeah.
It's not my passion. I'm not trying to be like the world's greatest chef or anything like that. Good enough with cooking is good enough. I'm okay with that because it's not a passion. But if you're like, you put yourself out there both externally and internally, and you say, I want to be the best at jiu-jitsu. I want to go to IBJJF. I want to win the world championships. And then you start looking for exit strategies. That's when you got to really start questioning, hey, do I have the mental resolve? Do I have the tenacity? Do I have the mental strength to do the things that I mean to do? And I think that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, that is what I'm talking about. And that is it reveals a lot about who you are when you have to accomplish something, or when you tell yourself you have to accomplish something. Like I like making coffee. I like doing the pour over, but do I want to be great at it?
Yeah.
I'm not passionate about being great. I want to be good enough to have
to enjoy it,
to enjoy it, enjoy the hobby. And so, yeah, when people come in here and they're just like, I just want to be good at jiu-jitsu. It's just like fun. It makes my life better. I'm like, great. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that as well. It's more for the people that decide that they want to compete. I'm like, well, let's just be great then. What's the point?
If you're going to truly pursue it on a competitive level, then why look for mediocrity?
Exactly. The goal of competition is to win.
Yeah.
Like, so let's be great. Let's prepare in a way where we're preparing for greatness. Even if you're a white belt, hold yourself to a high standard. And that's why we have a training camp here. We don't just sign up for tournaments and go to tournaments. We have a training camp, and people that want to compete, they go through the training camp. So, and that gives them the foundation to achieve something great.
Yeah. Well, and let's back up a little bit. I just wanted to mention, by the way, because we talked about this before the podcast, some thoughts occurred to me about, Chunks going and competing in his 60s and doing so well and training at such a high volume. And I think that when people hit their 30s, they start to feel different. They start to realize that, time is catching up to them. Injuries don't heal as fast. Your explosiveness starts to go. Your reflexes aren't quite as good. Eyesight starts to go. And it's just going to get worse, right? You're going to start feeling that stuff. Now, that having been said, the better you take care of yourself, the slower that process happens. But Father Time is going to catch up to all of us.
Yeah.
So then you look at somebody like Chunks, who is training at a really, really high volume and going out and competing at the highest levels and winning. That's inspiring. And I think that it's really easy as time starts to catch up to us to just throw in the towel and be like, I'm not meant to train hard. I'm meant to just retire and sit around on a rocking chair and read books, which, by the way, I think reading books is very healthy. But that having been said, to kind of give up. And that's crazy, right? Because then the downhill slide happens 1,000 times faster and you get less healthy really, really quick. So the trade-off of being willing to train and put some effort in on the mats, whether you want to compete or not, as we age, I think is so valuable. Don't give up. Don't throw in the towel and just be like, I'm old, so I'm not meant to do this anymore. Because that's not true.
Yeah, I agree. I couldn't agree more. We live out the stories that we tell ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So if we tell ourselves, yeah, the 30, people start to lose their athleticism after 30. You will lose your athleticism after 30.
Yeah.
If you say, I'm getting a little older now, whatever it is, you live out the story that you tell yourself. And that's what's the most inspiring thing to me about Chunks is this guy is in his 60s and his story is that regardless of how old he is going to train harder than anyone and he is going to become a world champion.
Yeah.
And I think that we should set big goals. I think small goals along the way, but I think that if we set one big goal, that's our story.
Yeah.
So I think about, for example, I'll talk about myself for a second, but I haven't fought since 2019 or something. I'm working now with the academy, doing well, and getting back into mixed martial arts. So I have two stories. I could be like, my story is that I could get back into MMA and I could be successful and that would be really cool. And I just kind of want to prove it to myself that I could be successful coming back. Well, that's boring. It's basic.
Boring.
Yeah, what is that going to do for me and the people around me? Or I could tell myself, I'm going to get back into MMA and I'm going to train like a madman. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to become a world champion. Because now the bar's set higher. I'm going to train harder.
Right.
Because that's my story. The story is I'm going to be a world champion. I am going to be a world champion. I'm just going to say it over and over so that hopefully my habits and my actions align with that goal, which is going to be so much better than the former.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't like this idea that once you reach a certain age, father time takes a toll. I think it's all about the story.
Yeah.
I think it's about what you tell yourself because the body is the servant of the mind.
Right.
And what you tell yourself will come true. So
yeah, I'm listening to this book called The Dose Effect, and we've talked about it in the last 2 episodes, and it's really good. But I've continued listening to it. It's one of 3 books I'm getting through. But just today, I was listening to, he was talking about happiness, and he said there's a brilliant equation. He says brilliant because he's from the UK, and that's for you, Ruby. Just brilliant. There's a brilliant equation, which is your happiness equals your reality minus your expectations. And that can be a very bleak thing when you first look at it. But the cool thing about it is that you actually control both your reality and you control your expectations. Mm. And the closer your reality is to your expectations, the happier you're going to be. So that doesn't mean you're going to live a life without any disappointment. Let's say Chunks goes to the world championships and the guy just kind of catches him off balance, sweeps him and wins. That doesn't mean that his expectations and his reality were that much different. He still feels great about the effort he put in. He's like, next year I'm going to win it.
Yes.
That's a healthy way to go about life. But he controlled his reality by putting the work in, and he controlled his expectations by aiming high. And if you only focus on one, then you will not be happy.
Yeah.
So if your reality is very low and your expectations are very high, you're going to be very, very sad. You're just not going to be happy. But if you have a really, really high reality, you're living a really good life, but you have a really low expectations, you're also not going to be very happy.
Yeah.
Both need to raise, and you have control over both of those things.
Yeah.
And so people like Chunks are inspiring because those are people that have improved their reality and have held high expectations. And that is a recipe for a very good life.
Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't agree more. That's well said. And I like that. I like that equation
Yeah.
a lot. Really cool. I feel like I got to write it down, post it up somewhere.
Write that down.
Write that down.
Little Van Wilder.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true. We are in control of our expectations.
Oh, totally. Totally. Now, that having been said, in the context of what he was talking about social media. And so I think that social media, as a very quick aside, I don't want to go off on a rabbit trail here, but we look at people's fake realities on Instagram and, all the different social medias, and it raises our expectations of what life is supposed to be like.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not realistic about most of that crap is staged. Most of it is just not real.
Yeah.
And so then we have these like artificially elevated expectations about life. And then we look at our own reality and then we're depressed.
Mm-hmm.
So there is an argument to get off social media, with the exception of the ALLGROUND channel. You should definitely check that on a daily basis because none of that is artificial. It's all real. Not faking any of that crap. But.
Yeah, for sure. It's a tough one. Yeah, the social media aspect. It's like, it's giving people, it's distracting us in a lot of ways. And I think anything can be harnessed.
Yeah.
For good or for evil, for sure. And I think social media is that way. I think that we see a video that's really inspiring and all of a sudden we're amped. We're ready to go on a run.
Exactly.
So, yeah, but it really depends on what are your goals? What are and how are your actions and your habits either
supporting those goals
or yeah. And so, if you are training your ass off and you're just going through a scroll hole just for some meaningless brain time or just a relaxing brain time,
some
go
dopamine
ahead,
consumption.
whatever, just do that real quick. But yeah, if you're constantly comparing yourself to others that you're just staring at through a screen, then you need to set bigger goals or you need to set something.
Why are you wasting your time looking at that stuff when that time could be spent on making yourself better and serving the people in your life that you love and spending time with people and doing community service? There's so many things you could be doing with that time. There's a huge opportunity cost with staring at a screen. And so just generally don't do it or do it very little is my opinion on that.
Yeah.
But I did want to, because we're getting kind of late here. It's almost 50 minutes in. Wow. I wanted, so you had kind of, I thought, a funny story because you guys also, after watching Chunks, you attended CJI.
Yes.
And watched that all unfold. And so for those of you that did not stream it, did not watch it, I think it's kind of a funny story, to be honest. So maybe you could lay that out.
Yeah. So talking about day one versus day two.
Yeah.
So the Craig Jones Invitational was the same weekend. And so after we watched Chunks win the world title, we went to the first day of CGI. It's a 2-day tournament. And it's different from last year. This time it was actually a team versus team event. And really cool layout. And it was a lot of fun to see live. But on the first day, like the first team matchup or the 2-team matchups, like it was pretty good, pretty exciting. And then all of a sudden, like it just got really boring because, well, there's $1 million on the line for the team that wins the tournament.
So they started gamesmanship.
Gamifying it in a way where it ended up being sort of boring because people were afraid to pull the trigger. People were afraid to like give it their all.
Mm-hmm.
And so you could feel like the teams, like there was so much restraint in their movements and in their actions because they were like, we just got to get to the next round so we can get closer to the million. But that was actually hindering them as a team.
Right.
And then it was just terrible for the crowd.
Right.
And
People
yeah,
are yawning.
I think like there were 2 team versus team matchups where there was literally 0 submissions, I think.
Wow.
But for a while, it was like 0 submissions, and it was bad. And we ended up we ended up not even staying for the full event on the first day. One, because we were with baby Lila as well, so we had to get back home. She was getting, it was hard for her to be out too much longer. But we also kind of wanted to get home as well.
Like this,
it's all right, and we can always just watch it back home. But we did, supported the event, bought the tickets, and a lot of those, ticket sales are going to the Fair Fight Foundation charity. So yeah, it was important for us being in the jiu-jitsu community to support what they're doing. So yeah, after day 1, Craig Jones, the face of the event, really,
the proprietor,
posted a video saying, "Scared money don't make money. We're giving out $50,000 bonus per submission in day 2. So if you're one person and you submit 4 people, $200,000.
That's like life-changing money.
It's life-changing money. And every competitor that was invited anyways is already getting a guaranteed $10,000 purse. So that's nice. But then if you're part of the team that ends up winning the $1 million, and then you just made like an extra $200K submitting people, dude, you're good.
You're rocking.
That's a good chunk of change.
Well, because I mean, assuming that the team splits it up evenly, each person gets $250K.
Yeah,
because it's 4 people, or how many people on the team?
5, including the coach.
Okay, so
yeah, so
200K. Yeah.
And
so you could double your money by getting submissions. Double your money.
Yeah. So, and that changed the game completely, because now people were like, "Whoa, I could make $50K just by going all out and submitting someone."
Yeah.
And it was way more exciting. Like, man, if you want to convince people to do something, just
throw $50K out there.
At least 5 zeros.
Yeah.
But that was a lot of fun. So day 2 ended up being really fun to watch. And the whole event was a great time. And if you want to watch it, you can rewatch the whole event on YouTube. I think it's still maybe not. I'm not sure. I'm sure it'll be restreamed on YouTube and Flow Grappling. But ended up being a good event, and it was fun. Yeah, I mean, there's some things where the event, like, you don't need, like, there was some silly interviews on the side with a comedian, jiu-jitsu podcast host, or I don't know, he's just like a jiu-jitsu comedian. There was some silly antics, which are to be expected when someone with such a big personality like Craig Jones is running an event. But overall, I thought it was awesome. I thought it was a good time, and it was cool to see it all play out, and for the winning team to take home $1 million. And of course, there's always drama. You're always kind of like on the edge of your seat when there's so much on the line, and it was a lot of fun.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, because that's the biggest prize purse in jiu-jitsu, isn't it?
Yeah. CJR. So last year, it was $1 million to the winner of the tournament, and they held, I think it was 1 or 2 tournaments. I think it was just 2 weight classes, heavyweight and then the lighter weights. So yeah. But yeah, that's a big purse. Now the whole team gets to split the $1 million, but still, to have $1 million on the line is really. Yeah. I remember when like some of the first 100K tournaments, that was huge for jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Like people winning 100K. I remember when I won like 4,000 or 5,000 to win Combat Jiu-Jitsu Worlds at the time. I was like, whoa, this is so much money.
Yeah.
At the time.
$5,000. Yeah. That's a down payment on a car.
Yeah. That literally was.
Yeah. That's what you did?
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, that was for my match with Uriah Faber.
Okay.
I got a guaranteed $5K purse. And I used that to put a down payment on my truck, which was awesome.
Funny. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, the sport is growing, and that's really cool. MMA is growing. It's like the fastest growing sport in the world. And therefore, jiu-jitsu being such a important part of MMA, jiu-jitsu is growing. and we're going to have more of these big tournaments. The UFC is involved in jiu-jitsu now. There's UFC BJJ. Craig Jones Invitational is big already, and IBJJF, although they don't pay people, I think maybe in the adult division, like the World Championships, get some sort of payout. I'm not exactly sure, but people are still going to compete in that. So Jiu-Jitsu Con and IBJJF Masters Worlds were running at the same time.
Right.
Jiu-Jitsu Con had over like 10,000 or 12,000 competitors signed up.
Jeez.
And that's mostly all in the gi.
Yeah.
And there's this notion that the gi is dying in jiu-jitsu.
Apparently not.
But apparently not. Yeah. It's just, there's jiu-jitsu is still growing, and it's still young. I mean, you think about it, it wasn't even brought to America until the 90s. And so it's still young. Jiu-jitsu is a very young sport and has a lot of potential for huge growth.
Yeah. I mean, I think the gi is both fun to watch, fun to compete in. I haven't done any actual tournaments or anything, but just with, my fellow trainees. But it's also practical. I mean, I think that, you look at, people think of jiu-jitsu as like, well, if somebody attacks me, could I use jiu-jitsu out there in the world? Well, in the summer, if somebody attacks you, probably going to be no-gi.
Yeah.
In the winter, on the beach. If somebody attacks you on the beach, it's going to be more of a no-gi kind of situation. But if in the winter, somebody attacks you, probably going to be more like the gi.
Yeah.
You got clothing to grab onto. And so,
I wouldn't mind that.
I mean,
dude.
Plus, the clothing protects you, because if somebody grabs you, you're probably gonna be on asphalt or something. You're not on mat. You don't want to scrape up your knees and elbows.
Oh God, that would be horrible.
Yeah,
you're already in a fight.
I don't need road rash. Yeah. Jeez,
what the heck? Oh, dude, hold on. Can we just start on the ground?
Yeah,
I don't want to have to trip and
That's where there's
also a patch of grass.
Sense, little butt scooting.
Hold on, there's a park like 10 minutes down the road. Let's just meet there.
Yeah. Let's just go to the grass and have it out.
Yeah. Even better, my jiu-jitsu academy is 15 minutes away. We could both sign waivers. This could be legit.
Yeah, exactly.
And we could just go to submission, man. We could settle our differences
we don't have to actually hurt each other. Just go to submission and tap, and then okay.
And then they're best friends by the end of this.
That's right. That's how it works.
Oh my gosh, dude. I just need to go street fight more people. I'd be like, wait. Yeah, let's just go to my academy real quick and, I'll actually give you a private lesson.
So seriously, though, I think that I believe this to be true, but I don't know. What do you think? I think that the more people that actually train in combat sports, the less likely they are to go out and get in a fight.
I agree. Yeah, it instills a lot of confidence in you. So you're like, I don't even need to fight. I don't have anything to prove.
Well, and it also instills realism.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
You know that even if you are favored to win a fight, does not mean you're going to.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, people get you. They just get you sometimes.
People get you. And if you come in here having never done jiu-jitsu before and you want to learn how to defend yourself, all of a sudden you're getting submitted by a 14-year-old.
Yeah. That's
like,
maybe a third or half as strong as you. And you're like, how is this kid beating the crap out of me?
Then you start going through all the situations in your life where you were really mean to people at a bar or something. Like, oh God, thank God none of them knew jiu-jitsu.
Or if they did, I was like a brush with death. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's true. It's a confidence builder, and it also gives you a realistic expectation as to what people are capable of if they are training.
Yeah.
So yeah, when I was growing up, I mean, I was in a couple fights, but I never got into a lot of altercations, partly because I was trained.
Yeah.
And I didn't need to. And your words are your first form of defense.
Yeah.
And so just being able to talk people out of it is really important for us to learn. There was times when I was a fiery young teenager and I wanted to fight.
Yeah.
I wanted to prove myself.
That's part of just being a teenager.
Yeah, that's just part of it. But I think if you can avoid any street squabbles, that would be ideal. And you never know nowadays. I mean, even still, I've had some altercations recently, but I'm always a little bit cautious because I'm like, I don't know if this person is carrying a gun or if they're, if they're just mentally unstable and going to do something crazy. So
well, and also let's say that they're just a normal person and they're just a hothead,
Yeah.
and you get into a, I mean, you could actually really hurt that person.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to like go out and hurt people.
Yeah. So martial arts teaches you when it's appropriate to defend yourself or to defend others.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you should always go, into an academy with this idea of just wanting to be a better person.
Yeah.
I think if you're going in for any other reasons, you're not going to last here, at least.
Yeah.
You're going to get cut right away. Because the people here at this academy want to become better martial artists, better human beings, and support their community.
Yeah, we're pretty good at sniffing out weirdos.
Yeah, they don't last long here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Anyways,
Yeah, that was great.
that was really great.
I feel like, man, just once again, congratulations, Chunks. Super proud of you, buddy.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. Thank you for being a fucking awesome individual, working so hard and inspiring me and this whole team. Can't wait to see what we continue to accomplish. One team, one dream, baby.
That's it. Oh, are you going to lay out any challenges? And by the way, did anybody fill out their list and send it to you?
I know my mom did.
Your mom did?
She did.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she
Okay.
did. That was
Okay.
really cool. I will have to check DMs and emails
Okay.
to confirm. But are there any challenges that I want to issue out right now?
Yeah, just like a week. I think it's a great idea to just throw out a little challenge for somebody. Hey, do this little thing.
Okay.
Like the don't bring your phone into the bathroom, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But anything like something somebody could incorporate into their morning routine or nighttime routine or anything like that that I want to throw out for people.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. The social media is a tough one right now because
Mhm.
I don't want to get distracted by it either. Now I have to use it a lot for the business,
Right.
but I think just a social media, like 1 week, delete it off your phone, delete it.
Yeah, yeah.
And so you actually have to log in on the internet to go view it.
Yeah.
That way, if it's business related or if it's part of your, the way that you make money or whatever,
Mhm.
then, that's one thing. But for people that are just abusing it, fucking delete it. Delete
Yeah.
it for the week and then we'll check back
Yeah, yeah.
next week.
Well, and by the way, if you're like, there's no way I can do that, I cannot do it. One thing that he talks about in the book, The Dose Effect, is he said an interim step for people is to delete it from your home screen. It's still installed on your phone, but we have such a habit of just like unlocking our phone and hitting the app icon. If you have to unlock your phone, do a search to find it, and then open it, at least there's a little bit of a barrier. And if you're trying to spend less time on social media, just that can make a significant difference. But
Yeah.
for this week's challenge, is delete it. Just delete it. It doesn't delete your account. It just gets it off your phone for
Yeah.
a week.
Yeah, for 1 week.
See if you're happier or
I
not.
also thought about this when we were talking about it earlier, but I was thinking, you're dying right now. Like
Yeah.
you're literally dying right now. So fill your day with what you want to be doing. And maybe that's another challenge for this week is I want to try and fill my day with what I actually want to be doing because I am currently dying. And if I'm hunched over on a couch scrolling through my phone, I'm just
Looking
gonna
like a freaking idiot.
I'm just going to remind myself that I'm dying.
Yeah.
And is this how I want to be remembered by myself?
You want to go out like a chump?
Yeah. So, yeah, do
Nice.
the things that you want to do, that you actually want to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't do the things that are just easy.
Yeah.
Like find passions and follow those passions. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's the way to end it right there.
Right there.
Boom.
All Ground Pod. We're out.